right, ladies and gentlemen, we have arrived at the final match of the day for the group stages of the Pride Cup 2021. My name is SunPheonyx, and I'm joined here once again by my trusty sidekick, Terran. Welcome back.
Thank you. And this game we got here, it's going to be quite an interesting one. The top two teams of Group A battling it out, seeing who's going to get that top spot. Both guaranteed the upper bracket finish, but maybe that favorable matchup going into tomorrow can be very important.
Yeah, exactly. It is top two guaranteed for these two teams. Rainbow Renegades taking on Babsdyssey. Now, we've seen Rainbow Renegades already today. Of course, they took that victory over Valkyries, a 3-0 victory, and they continued on that path throughout the rest of the day, taking 3-0s, haven't dropped a single map yet. So they're coming into this as the favorites. Their opponents, Babsdyssey, have not dropped a series yet, also coming in on a 3-0. However, they just had to go to a 6-game series against Zwoomicorns, I believe it is. So, yeah, having to do a super reverse sweep. They're going down 0-2 and then drawing on map 4, I think it was, and then having to pay the tiebreaker out. So they have had a different path, but they come here to the same place. The bottom line is, permutations-wise, the winner of this one is top of the group. The loser of this one is in second place. Now, why does that matter? Because when you go to the brackets, you get seeded. First from Group A goes up against second of Group B. So in theory, you want to win out here so you can come up against an easier opponent. Peach, why don't you throw the groups up for us, actually, and we can see exactly what they look like. As you can see there, Rainbow Renegades and Babsdyssey on the top. Valkyries, One-Tricks, and Zwoomicorns near towards the bottom. Now, a reminder that fifth place gets eliminated. And One-Tricks and Zwoomicorns, there's an interesting thing playing out there. One-Tricks, which as a reminder is Grant, Deffect, Vertigo, that crew, have played all their matches and have gone 1-3. Zwoomicorns have played 3 matches and are currently 0-3. If they win, they need to win 3-0. If they go 3-1, they lose, because in head-to-head, they'll finish fifth, sorry, because in head-to-head against One-Tricks, they lost that match. So that is how that plays out. They need a 3-0 victory there. And then if you look at Group B, E4, which we obviously saw early in the day, played all of their matches and have gone 3-1. If H goes 3-1 as well, they will win because their map differential will improve by definition. They'll be in second because they will lose out on map diff, and they're currently matched on map differential. And then otherwise, other things are happening, and I don't feel like getting into it right now. But rest assured, once we have all the results, depending on how quickly they come in, we'll let you know what we know. But permutations for this match, just to remind you guys, is the winner of this gets first place in the group. That is the whole story. It's as simple as that. So let's take a look at the teams here before we jump into this game. We'll start with Rainbow Renegades, a squad we've already seen today. It's Cuburn and Cubic on the tanks, Selfless and Drostar on the damage, Bubbles and Wallace on the supports. Now you'll recognize here Neeks. My man Neeks is missing from the squad, unfortunately not able to make this, so is replaced here by Enigma's super sub in the form of Selfless, aka Hayden. Otherwise, we're looking at Cubic here as the huge standout for this Rainbow Renegade squad.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, Cubic, for all that we've known him, on his times of Overclock to Excess, I think Perseus back in the day, always been a standout player, no matter what role he plays. And now, on that tank role, something he's known for. I mean, climb to GM top 500 on multiple accounts. You're going to look to him, on potentially a Roadhog, a Wrecking Ball, as he's shown here. Going to be a lot of trouble for Babsdyssey to deal with, and it's going to be interesting to see how they kind of approach it. Do they, aim to take out the rest of his team and leave him kind of in the lurch, or do they put a lot of focus into him, trying to get him out of the team fight and then putting their focus onto the rest?
That is the question. We'll have to see how exactly they choose to approach this, but they will be in the driver's seat. You have not yet dropped the map, with Babsdyssey, as I said, coming off a tough match against Zwoomicorns, who are currently placed bottom of the log, so everything to play here for them. They got something to prove, and let's take a look at the roster that they'll try and prove it with. It will be Pretz on the main tank, Quacha on also the main tank, Babs and Furious will be their DPS players, Phoenix and Apricornicus bringing up the rear as a support. So two former Rage Quit Odyssey main tanks here as the tank lineup. Babs, of course, a member of Pangolins, well known for his projectile, and specifically, I believe recently, his Pharah in the last match was a big part of what carried Babsdyssey through. Furious, he's part of Re-Ace, if I am correct. Standout performer on that squad on the hit scan, DPS. Phoenix is a part of Odyssey now, formerly of Vanguard. Spent 2 seconds on Leiden Esports before that, and before that was part of DDC Divinity. And then Apricornicus, I believe, was part of Calypso and is now playing for Re-Ace, he says, hoping. Pangolins, close enough. So that is the squad. What are your thoughts on this one?
I think a lot of the thing we got to look at is, this Odyssey link up. Pretz and Quagga, not exactly two players that you genuinely see together. A lot of the time when one plays, the other sits out. So it's going to be interesting to see how that kind of tank duo works. And I think we're probably going to see Quagga more on that off tank. I know he says he wants to take a bit of a break from the main tank, so to speak, but I think overall there's still going to be quite a lot of synergy there. And then Babs and Apricornicus also play together quite a lot. You're back in the Calypso days as well. So you kind of outlier you're looking at is Furious, but in saying that, he also kind of has experience playing with Pretz, Quagga and Phoenix just in comp. So there is some kind of inherent synergy there. Obviously it's not the same as playing in a team, but I think this is where a lot of Babsdyssey are going to find their strength, is this built-in synergy in this team.
Taking a look at them, this is an extremely balanced squad, right? SR wise, all of them have competitive experience, as you said, and I think that's part of why they've been so successful. But there's no real carry on that team, and that's what we're gonna have to wait and see who stands out from the crowd there. Of course, we might look at guys like Quagga and Babs, but Quagga's not on main tank. Knoppy says he's also known, so he won't be able to flex himself like he might do on Rage Quit Odyssey. And Babs, a standout performer, but can be a bit hot and cold. So we're going to have to see how exactly they perform. And Furious, he is a standout on Re-Ace, but not proven against top talent. So I'm excited to see how that plays out, guys. You know what map we're going to start on. It's going to be Lijiang Tower, our first map. I know you know a ton of these players, especially from Babsdyssey, TerranLord. Based on what we're seeing here, do you think we can make any predictions on what we'll see composition-wise?
I'd say you're probably going to see, like in terms of Babsdyssey, your kind of more generic comps. You're probably going to see like your generic Brawl with like the Ryan Diva, May McCree, maybe a Sim Junkrat in there. Your normal dives, Pharah going to be in there, Echo, Tracer. I don't think we'll really see the double shield. We might see like double main tank, because also another possibility. Like a Wrecking Ball Winston is another possibility. And then you're on the sides of Rainbow Renegades. It's a bit of a toss-up. Obviously, I mean, you're expecting Wallace on that Lucio. I think that's almost a guarantee. Bubbles is a bit like, you don't really know. We haven't really seen him on support. Cubic, very likely going to see like any kind of off tank. I'm most like expecting him on the Roadhog, as he's already selected, purely because it can be such a pop-off hero and like a real carry hero. And if Babsdyssey don't respect him, they could lose a lot of these fights. Yeah,
they absolutely could. And looking at what the compositions are to start us off here, we do see Cubic on the Roadhog. Now that is a hero that he was popping off on early in the day, so might look a little bit out of place, but we know he can make it work. Oh no, never mind, he's on the ball instead. So they're going to instead opt for that double main tank composition. Pretz will instead go onto the off tank. So wrong predictions all around from you, TerranLord. You should be ashamed right now.
I'm sad. My information is just being thrown out the window.
Yeah, exactly. You can just disregard everything you say from here on forward. Mango though, who's Mango? Where did Mango come from? Anyways, it is Selfless. Okay, he gets to pick onto one and then a second and a third with the D-Mech. So Mango popping off your Selfless, the Enigma super sub, immediately impressing himself on proceedings here. Quagga will go down and they will clean this up here on the side of Rainbow Renegades. So their unbeaten map streak, not so far looking like it's going to be contested.
Yeah, and it's a lot of self-sustain in this comp. Obviously, kind of feel for the Winston playing with a Zen Lucio, but other than that, you've got Ball, Tracer, Sombra, all pretty good at finding their own health back. So it's going to be very difficult for Babsdyssey to really get these picks.
It is indeed, and I mean, not starting off well here as they lose a couple of players. Wallace even gets a cheeky boop onto Aprikonicus, so healing up, yeah, just hang out. Cubic's like, why? What are these players? Give me players on my level, please.
Yeah, no, definitely. And we just see, like, so far, Babsdyssey really struggling to get the engagements into these fights. You're losing 1 or 2 members before a fight really breaks out, and they're struggling to lock down the Zen, which is, you know, the isolated.
Ooh, that looks pretty good. They do catch him, as you said, so immediately closing in on Bubbles and getting rid of him, and so damage now less, healing now less for Rainbow Renegades here. The hack onto Furious and he gets taken down, so that's Sombra paying off well here. Not building the EMP particularly fast, but some good hacks can help them through, and it's making space for Mango and Alex to absolutely pop off here. Both of them getting picks across the map here, but Quagga is full HP, very healthy, and with a primal rage to boot, but Mango is uncontested there. Picks off Phoenix once again as Furious throws the pulse bomb down, does damage but doesn't get any kills. There's a pulse bomb on the other side as well, doesn't find anything, and finally Mango dealt with here by Quagga, who's going to try and get the monkey off the point as well. Sound barrier committed by Rainbow Renegades as well, so a lot thrown into this team fight for both teams, but at the end of it all, Babsdyssey seem to have the position set up, but they've just lost Furious now, and Alex aka Cubic is on point. EMP thrown in now as well. Bubble's going to come in with a well-timed Transcendence, and Wallace with the double kill. The Pharmacy, don't worry boys, I'll take care of that on the Lucio, and now he's just going to spawn camp them. He'll go down, but I think he'll be happy with the space he's just purchased for his team here as Cubic works his way back onto point. Bubbles picks off Quagga, Drostar takes down Aprikonicus, and unfortunately for Fierce, too little too late to bring his team back into that one.
Yeah, and something that was very interesting, like especially in that fight where it started to look good for Babs, you know, getting that pick onto Bubbles, is you saw the Tracer and the Lucio in the backline just go straight on that on, and you're not something used to seeing a Lucio always in the backline, but it's Wallace.
Yeah.
It's something that if you know him, he's going to be there. He is in your backline. He's not going to be helping Bubbles on this flex support, so it's going to be a bit tough for him. So I think that kind of situation, you're probably looking at Babsdyssey looking to dive Bubbles a bit more. They kind of struggle to isolate him a lot of those fights.
Yeah, but there's so many talks you have to deal with, because if you let Cubic do his thing, he's gonna rip up your back line, and same goes for Selfless as well. So compositional switches here for both teams, at least DPS wise for Rainbow Renegades, but they're still going to go for this double main tank composition with the Ball and the Winston forced back straight away. As I say that, Babs on the Doomfist here is going to punch through. He tries to get that Reaper, but the shift not worn off yet. Immortality Field now taken down as Furious looks for targets. They're going to try and get this Ball, but not going to be able to do that as Furious dropping low, ends up being the first to drop here. So Alex finding the opening kill here for his team. Rainbow Renegades now in the driver's seat as he gets another pick onto Aprikonicus. The charge comes through, so the first return kill for Babsdyssey will be Mango, courtesy of Pritz, but there's still a man down here. Spawns coming in though, they might be able to regroup. The point has not been flipped yet, and in fact it's Babsdyssey in control right now. Alex super low, Cubic gonna work his way around with the Ball. He's already built the ultimate, but they have kept the point, and with Quagga getting the double kill on Zarya, he's going to do a good job, make that a triple in fact. Going to do a good job of forcing Rainbow Renegades back.
Yeah, and something that you pointed out is that there's a lot for them to deal with in terms of this team comp, and that time they kind of stemmed the chaos. Obviously it was looking a bit dicey at some points, but eventually they're able to stabilize, and that's something we're going to look to see can they do throughout this entire series.
Ooh, Shadow catches 2 there. I feel like one of those was an extra because it shouldn't have hit him probably around the corner. But the Graviton Surge follow-up, that's going to help him control the choke. There's still a little ball in the backline, but with no teammates, he's going to get Furious at least, but unlikely to get anything more as Wallace just snakes his way out of there. Oh my goodness, what is this? They get another kill. Aprikonicus goes down as well, and that's going to force Babsdyssey to have to pull back to behind point.
Yeah, and that's really rough, losing your main support here, meaning that Prince is not going to have as much healing. It does go very aggressive though and goes down for it.
Yeah, doesn't quite manage to secure that kill onto Cuban. Look at his HP, man, just barely getting out of there, but it's enough to give space to his team to come back in here, and they will, in all likelihood, get... Hello, thank you. We'll get the flip here on the point, and now move towards Choke to sort of hold that off. But they don't have quite the same comp that's as good as Babsdyssey's comp is at holding this Choke.
Yeah, I don't think you really see them to hold the Stroke. Maybe a way to bait them in, especially with the Wrecking Ball. Get a bit of value. You've got Primal Rage coming up. Those mines are going to be very crucial.
Arm barrier though will try and mitigate some of that. Cuban drops straight off the bat here. Droestar has his ultimate available. Will he try and get up onto the high ground? Looks like he's going to go for it, but Mango is dropping low here. Immortality Field will keep him healthy. Bubbles has dropped as well now, so healing quite limited, but will it be enough with the ultimates they're throwing out? The Shadow comes out, but the High Noon committed in turn, so trying to counter each other out here. Furious gets on top of Mango, takes the carry out, so good work from him, but Cuban has rejoined the fray. The charge from Quagga, not good enough to get that, or Pretz rather, not good enough to get that kill, as now Cuban can move forward, and a tough start to the team fight for Babs, for Rainbow Renegades, but they hold firm.
Yeah, and the high ground attack PhyZA was actually really crucial for Droestar there. Not really getting that many picks, but putting a lot of pressure on Babsdyssey at that off angle they couldn't really cover, and that just meant that Cubic, as soon as he came in with those mines, they just didn't have anything to deal with him.
Yeah, couldn't respond effectively. Nice aggressive play though out of this brawl composition. They're really using the Lucio speed and the Reinhardt to good use, but unfortunately not able to find the picks because all they're running into are tanks, and this tank in particular is tankier than most right now, as he has the Primal Rage at the ready. Cuban making space for his team, as yes, I'm Alex comes in to this fight, gets the power drive kill on Quagga, and with that Zarya down, they'll struggle to push it out. Droestar on the backline, going to rain damage down. Cuban gets pushed back by Babs, but the Doomfist has not had the value I think that Babsdyssey's team is hoping. Babs' team is hoping for here. Death Blossom at the ready, and they've lost Cuban now, so they might just have done enough. Pulse Bomb hits the ground, but doesn't find any kills. Mines down. I was just about to say you might want to clear that with the Death Blossom, but two of them, both DPS, going down here for Babsdyssey. So once again, Cubic coming in the clutch for his team here. A big Shadow finds Bubbles, but that might not be enough to help them push through. Babsdyssey low on numbers now as the respawns come in from Rainbow Renegades. A double pick here. Furious comes in, has a Death Blossom, will pop it down, but Wallace just faces him down. He knows the limits. With the heal boost, he won't go down easily, but eventually Furious tracks him down. He just tried coming in now from Babs. Where's the target he's looking for? Straight on point onto Cubic, but the pile driver puts more damage onto Babs than he does onto the ball. Needs to be careful though. Coming around here is Droestar with his ultimate at the ready. Attack PhyZA will be popped. Just so much damage going on to this team. Only the Reinhardt left now. He finds an angle to pump the damage from behind him. Needs to watch the Reaper. Does so effectively. He's gonna drop though as Furious works his way back into this team fight. But there's only 3 players from Babsdyssey left on the point. It's not looking good for them, but maybe they can clear it out. Unfortunately not. Only blue players left alive. This Moira not likely to 1v6. And Lucio not likely to stand a better chance. Doomfist though, man, that hero can do magic and garbage, so who knows, but eventually Babs does go down, so we'll have to wait and see. Did he do enough to buy his team space to get back in here? There is a ball in the mix, has built up an ultimate. That might be exactly what they need. Push this one back, 1 kill onto Cuban, but they're losing players in the meantime. Mango uncontested on this Tracer. Pulse Bomb ready to go, chucks it out all willy-nilly. Doesn't matter what it hits, they'll probably get value out of it. Sound barrier now from Wallace to keep his team healthy. So much HP. Pretz's ultimate won't come out in time, and a double kill. Guys, can one of you win the team fight now so if we can like start breathing here? Wallace is if any team's gonna win, it's gonna be mine. Babs taken down here. They just need to clean up the last couple of players, but there's still a Reaper in the mix here, and you've got to respect him. Cuban doesn't and gets taken down. Quagga still in the mix here, almost up to another set of mines. A sound barrier from Phoenix. She's forced around the edge, but she gets enough healing on her team to keep them healthy. Now they can push forward. Furious almost up to another Death Blossom here, and that could turn the team fight in their favor. Finally, here it is. Let's do it. Go for it, Furious. Just do it. Don't be afraid. Don't be a little bees. Not gonna go for it just yet. Droestar taken down. Now Cuban hits the deck as well. Wallace might be the critical pick here to push them through, but Bubbles is dropped on the front line. Sick. Oh no, that was recall there from Tracer. Not going to get taken out just yet. They're not able to kill these 2 heroes. Finally, Wallace goes down. Where's that Tracer? Put her down. They've got finally the point split, and the team fight is over.
Yeah, that was I don't even know. I think there was like 4 or 5 mines between like 3 beats. Like I don't even know what just happened.
You gotta keep talking because I need a breathe.
Yeah, no, Cubic has swapped up into the Roadhog, so less sustained in terms of the Wrecking Ball, but we're going to see Beat coming out, and a lot of ults once again. Pretzels get frozen, goes down. So does Furious, and that's with the Death Blossom as well.
Wow, that is a big problem. The Reaper won't be able to pop that ult, but now Cuban picks up the double there. As you say, Primal Rage at the ready, so they've got money in the bank here that they're playing with, and they will get the kill onto that. So a brief moment of respite for Babsdyssey is unfortunately not long lasting here, as they're now under pressure once again. Angry Monkey on the front line. Bubbles getting aggro to help Wallace get that kill onto Babs. Mango, Wallace, and Bubbles contributing here in this team fight, and now they're forcing Babsdyssey back. So this unbroken map streak in Pride Cup will not be broken, and Rainbow Renegades will take the first map. Yeah,
and there's a lot of chaos that the Rainbow Renegades are creating with every single person. You've got Wallace in the backline doing Lucio things. You got Cubic just managing to survive so much.
Oh no! Get out of here, Mango.
Then you got Selfless as well, putting a lot of pressure. Like it's just so many moving pieces that you need to deal with. And Babsdyssey seem like they had a good start to Control Center, but they're just struggling to kind of get a full grasp of who they need to be focusing.
Yeah. I agree, and they're struggling to just focus targets as a unit, because Wallace is saying that he doesn't know how he survived so long in that last fight, but it's because they weren't shooting you, and that generally helps you not die. So yeah, and we could see that he was being put under pressure, but they were just weren't able to secure that final hit that might have pushed them over the edge. So Babsdyssey though have shown up. They're here to play. That was a 99-99 match, and both teams are going to have to work hard to take this one out. Question is, can Babsdyssey give Rainbow Renegades their first loss in the Pride Cup?
I think going into Eichenwald, it's a better chance for them. You always talk about Control as being a very a flip-floppy map, a map where you can kind of take advantage of this chaos that they're creating, whereas Eichenwald being a hybrid map, there's a bit more structure to it. There's not as much areas where you can create that chaos. There's only certain angles that you can really come from.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at when you're the attacking team, that okay, maybe there's like a Roadhog flank or something like that, but it's something you expect. You know exactly what those flank angles are. Whereas on a map like Gardens, for an example, there's an up-teen amount of angles you can come from while you're moving just towards point. Yeah,
no, absolutely, and that is going to be the key here. As you say, shutting down these players as they come in, and I just basically just identifying where the problem children are at any point in time. And I think for me, the key player here really has been Mango on that Tracer. It was untouchable on Gardens, and then once he switched on Control Center, really overwhelming as well. So I don't know. They're still looking for a flex DPS on Enigma, right? Because it looks like Minitig stepped down.
Yeah.
So maybe they should look at Mango. I'm not playing flex DPS, but still.
Yeah, no, definitely. He's been a lot of work. Kind of a big shoes to fill. From that first series, and so far really has filled them. We look at guys.
Actually, I just remember they've got Tox on DPS, so there's no problem.
True. Yeah, Tox DPS better than anything else.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
It beat Auntian's Womb in OG, so gotta be feeling pretty good about that.
Yeah, no, I think this map, we just need to look to see it, Babsdyssey keep that structure going. You're making sure that your targets that you're calling are focused on, because there's just a lot happening, and it kind of comes down to players like Quacha, like Pretz, Phoenix. You are very much your more experienced. Do they have the ability to keep everyone in this team calm and focus on what they need to do?
Do you think it's possible there's a case of too many cooks here on our red squad as we head into Eichenwalde? You know, Pretz and Quacha, I feel like quite outspoken players in their own right, both main tank. Babs, I think, as well contributes quite a lot, and I think Phoenix does as well, but I've never played with Phoenix, so I'm not sure. Do you think it's possible that's happening here, and the calls are then getting kind of, focus is getting split a bit, or do you think it's just a difficulty synergizing?
I think it's a difficulty synergizing.
Okay.
Because like even when I filled for them, obviously that was without Pretz, and I filled Pretz's role. But just in terms of like the way Quacha, Babs, Phoenix, they kind of interact, there's not like really anyone overpowering each other. Maybe there might be a little bit between Pretz and Quacha, but I think other than that should be fine.
Okay, so just the difficulty identifying targets and effectively dealing with them here. Interesting to see here, Bubbles and Wallace will reprise their role on the Zenyatta and Lucio respectively. Bubbles will die immediately, so that's not a good start for them. And look at that, 2 tanks on low HP, and the only healing is coming out of this man right here, Wallace, as Mango gets a pick in the backline. But they've dropped one, and they've got the res to undo that initial pick, so Mango needs to be careful. Backs out, gets taken down by Furious, and Bubbles is only on his way back now, so no healing in for a long time here as Cuberin, no mech, no warriors. He tries to take down a couple of players. I'm just going to let him go back and remake. That seems like a bad choice, but no, not going to matter here. Aprikonicus does his own Zenyatta impression here and gets that pick off. It was a good start for Babsdyssey.
Yeah, and well, it's just being a bit cheeky in the backline does manage to get out, but yeah, I think that this kind of Hug Zarya comp, it kind of plays against this chaos that you see Rainbow Renegades try and produce, and basically matching chaos with chaos. And I think so far it's really helped them.
Yeah, I agree, Alex. Though this is what we expect out of the man on the road. To get that initial pick, and it's the Mercy, so Ray's not available. Just gonna bonk you with that one. If Furious, get out of my game, please. I've got other people to kill, as Wallace does the same to Pretz there. So immediately the next fight, a recovery comes out of Rainbow Renegades. No ults needed. They're just gonna get kills with pure mechanics, pretty much.
And I think they were kind of caught off guard a little bit by this Hug Zarya. I don't think it's something that they expect to run into. Not many teams are running it.
Yeah.
So it might have just been that. But Kuberin getting demeched, dying in this fight is going to be a bit rough.
Yeah, a bit awkward there, and Furious will get rid of the Baby Diva as well. Nice pulse bomb onto Furious. Mango once again coming clutch with him. The rest is there, but Aprikonicus drops in pretty much the same moment. Now the whole hog comes out, forcing them back. Mango does go down, but unfortunately for Babs, his teammates are dropping like flies. He picks up another kill, so with the respawn advantage as strong as it is here for our attacking team, and he won't even go down, that might be exactly what they need to push back through.
Yeah, and especially like with the ult advantage coming through, it's going to be really nice. The grab and drag can be very nice to kill, but...
What is this? Bubbles? He's decided he needs to get back to point ASAP as possible, and will burn the Transcendence in that endeavor.
I mean, you say, okay, well, you're running the Zen Lucio and you have the beat to counteract the grab dragons, but beat's not on line for a while. But Aprikonicus going down means that the push is kind of stunted.
Oh, and then Phoenix follows straight after, no healing left, but Babs picks up one, Quacha picks up another, D-Mech as well onto Cuberin, so looking decent. The punch through the recall gets that pick as well, and now he can mess around with the hog and hold up another ult nice and swift.
Yeah, and we were talking about how the first fight they dealt with the chaos. Well, now it's becoming a situation where Mango comes in from one side, then Wallace from the other, and then while that's all happening, Cubic just hits a big hook. But with Mango going down, I think this is Babsdyssey's ticket to getting through the choke.
Oh, and Cubic, that's like literally a win condition. Kill both of those players, and it's pretty hard to lose the team fight. Now Wallace goes down as well. 3 top players out of the team. Finally an opening here for Babsdyssey.
Yeah, and they managed, kind of pick off these players that were taking these 1v1s, and the duplicate doesn't end up working out for Joestar, so ultimately they get a good push onto this bridge.
Yeah, Quacha gets a double kill. They're taking out both DPS and cancelling the Echo duplicate, so can even put pressure onto Cuba and might even get that D-Mech. No, gonna go towards his team now. I think the right decision. Transcendence comes out from Aprikonicus. That's probably how you should use it, Bubbles, instead of using it just to get back to your team. But anyway, what I don't play Overwatch anymore. Babs has the Dragon Strike at the ready. Cuba in the backline, dropping low, I suspect. Whole hog over the top here from Alex. Somehow gets Aprikonicus off the map from this angle. That's a disaster, unfortunately for them. Babsdyssey, sorry, gonna push forward here and try and just get the picks they can. Pretz is looking pretty good here. He's got the Mercy back up as well, so unlikely to drop anytime soon as long as he can keep the Mercy on him. But no, Mercy had to pull back there and keep Babs alive, and unfortunately for Babsdyssey, Rainbow Renegades will be able to stabilize here, and they'll even pick up a late kill onto Quagga.
Yeah, and that was really unfortunate, trying to drop off the map, but it ended up getting booped to the side, so he ended up staying alive. And it's nice, a bit of time off the clock. Beat from Wallace? Question mark?
It's also one to get back to the team, I guess. I don't know what these guys are doing, but they're showing us they don't actually need their defensive ultimates here, because let's see what Bubbles does with his once he gets it.
Yeah, no, it's very weird ult usage so far from these supports, but as you said, it's been working out so far.
I think Alex got hooked there, and that was a nice pick up from Bubbles, Africanicus. Bubbles, yeah, in the backline. What are we watching? The solo trance has to come out, right? You just got a trance and get back to your team here. That's the Bubbles special. Furious popping off on the front line here. High Noon at the ready, so it's going to be an interesting next team fight.
Yeah, and with Bubbles getting staggered, it means there's going to be quite a few people, and whole hog get cancelled out, so that's not really going to get too much value. Farah should die too very quickly.
Nice work. Furious popping off here, taking the opportunities that have been given to him as Africanicus rejoins the squad here after taking down Wallace. So Babsdyssey finding a decent rhythm here, but Great Renegades seem not to be respecting them enough.
Yeah, it's been very questionable ult usage so far, and they do switch over the comp, so it might be a bit better now.
We have indeed. Trance now comes out from Bubbles to rejoin the team, literally actually, coming through the backline there, I think. Mango puts the damage in over the top with that Junkrat. A good pick here on the second point, has to be said. Yeah, as the duel comes out, Bubbles does end up going down, and Furious, he's really come alive here on the last bit of this map.
Yeah, and they kind of made angry by all the shenanigans.
I think you're right about that. Trance comes out now. Furious finds another pick here. Whole Hog gonna force the blue team back. The hook not on the mark, but it shouldn't matter too much as Bubbles now isolated, out of position, taken down. Hey, that looks like me, says Quagga here, but unfortunately it's going to be a problem. Nice stun from Furious, gets that Whole Hog cancelled, but there's a tracing in the backline. Mango will make short work of Africanicus. Now going to try and get onto that, but Babs has his mercies back, but unfortunately not for long as Cubic comes in and picks off Phoenix just a moment after he loses the tracer, and that's going to be enough for them to clean up. But perhaps you're going to be pretty happy with this. Just a little bit, one more team fight win and they'll get through.
Yeah, it's definitely really looking at it. You got to give massive credit to Furious. Not only the picks that he's getting, but he's been the one putting a lot of pressure on Cubic on that road. A lot of the time, Cubic's look for those hooks, look for those heals, and Furious has stunned him out of it. Like the whole hog as well. Massive credit, but they do need to be very careful.
Yeah, man, this is the problem playing against a tracer that's as good as this. Look at that, he puts the damage on, a random Moira orb comes through, and now he can just play with whoever he wants here. Put the pressure on. They have to commit the sound barrier just to stay alive here. 20 seconds left in the clock. I think you probably had time to get back and regroup, but unfortunately, Wallace... no, what? Yeah, it's Wallace using it. Never mind, it makes perfect sense in the context of the game.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, Bubbles does go down. It's a good pick, but with Furious dying.
Yeah, Cubic, he knows exactly how to play the game. He forces Bubbles off the map. Nobody can even touch the point here, and Rainbow Renegades hold pretty firm. But a long push from Babsdyssey gives them a lot to work with.
Definitely, I think we're going to look to them on their defense. They have a good point to defend. This is something where you can see them coming from the angles. Maybe there's some crazy Doomfist flank that happens, or like an echo, but in general, you should know where this Tracer, where this Wrecking Ball, Roadhog, Lucio, whatever it is, you should know where it's coming from.
Yeah,
I mean, something which absolutely. We saw, Deffect make very good use of was the Torbjorn, and to be honest, with the way that the Tracer is just getting so much value, I wouldn't mind seeing that the Torbjorn pick come out, because it just... Even though it won't kill the Tracer, it makes her second guess which angles she can take, how far she can go, because any bit of damage on the Tracer means that she's killable. I mean, if you have a Torbjorn McCree, bit of damage, and McCree doesn't even need to hit a headshot, just a body shot, and she's gone.
Exactly. And Mango has looked way too free in these team fights. He gets to the backline and he's just able to one-clip people from point-blank range. And a Tracer never should really feel comfortable doing that. So I think you're right. Putting him under pressure with something like a Torbjorn might be extremely valuable here. But I also know that Babs had a ton of value on the Pharaoh. So maybe this is the pick they need to kind of force their way through the Renegade squad.
Yeah, and we haven't really seen like this pure hit scan come out too much, so maybe this is the pick. We're also going to see the Pharaoh Mirror, but without the Mercy pocket, so Babs does have the advantage of the Mercy.
Yeah, interesting choice. Instead, I guess they're going to try and use Mango here, Selfless, to get the picks onto those heroes, and instead of going with the Mercy. Bubbles, of course, can just look up into the sky. Not finding the angle. Really nice positioning there from the Pharmacy, making sure that Mango can't find the angles. Looking for it now, going to go up. Does he get the shot? Doesn't quite manage. A good try though. Puts the pressure on. Nobody's died just yet. The tank's dropping low here though for Babsdyssey. So a bit of an awkward spot. Pret's dropping low. Gonna get demeched almost. Yes, does get demeched, but Babs fires back. Both DPS in fact firing back now, and they might lose the mech, but the floodgates open and they get the picks they need to on the front line. They have lost Phoenix, so she'll have to get a little bit of assistance coming back into the fight, but a good hold from Babsdyssey to start things off.
Yeah, I think you can see Rainbow Renegades also kind of agreeing with the fact that we can't go with this chaos on the attack. There's no Lucio coming out. There's no Tracer. They are kind of moving on to the Sombra, so a bit more chaos, and there's no like the double main tank either. Just a bit more of a standard-ish comp. Obviously, the Anamura, not your most common of support duo.
True, yeah, not opting to go for the Lucio, or I'm surprised Bubbles. Bubbles actually might switch onto that once he gets the trance off here, onto the, sorry, Banana off. I'll switch back to that Transcendence guy. Makes a lot of sense here. Ooh, nice work from Alex. Gets onto the top there. We'll get rid of the Immortality Field. That might just kill, what's the name, outright, but Mango gets the kill. Alex finds to follow, so no DPS in the game. Coalescence will get rid of Phoenix as well. So all of a sudden, the floodgates open. Nano Coalescence to celebrate, I suppose, is going to help them push through here. The Babsdyssey falling apart a bit in that team fight.
Yeah, and we saw that like Pret's waiting for that remake kill, that we've all become accustomed to, and getting punished for it, but Bubbles in a very awkward position. Okay, it does get out.
Name a more iconic duo. Bubbles and an awkward position. Joestar gonna drop early here. Has not yet built that EMP, only 50% up, so we'll be waiting for that just a little bit longer here. I almost wonder, oh my goodness, Alex with the tracking here. Alex is European, but forced to play on 150 ping with the rest of us plebeians in the third world. Joestar on the point here, just gonna force it forward. Kwachan gonna force them back in turn. Not able to get the hack off. Gonna drop low there, almost going down, but Kwachan happy to just get set up on the point here, but oh, Mango found his way around, got the kill onto Phoenix. Babs wants to find him, so he can't do that anymore. The high noon comes out, yes, moves him forward, says please kill me faster so I can respawn. And Joestar on the front line here, but extreme aggressive flanking plays coming out from the DPS of Rainbow Renegades.
Yeah, I mean, not even just the DPS, the supports as well. It's like these positions that they're taking it's unusual to say the least, and Babs just really struggling to find what they need to deal with it.
Peculiar positioning coming out of Rainbow Renegades. Alliteration all around. The Prince will open up with the self-destruct and get the immediate pick onto Mango. A pretty critical pick. But you say so myself, Cuban with the double. He's going to blow any more up with the squish. No, not quite able to, but you're happy to take that double kill. His team will follow up now. Babs in the sky. I'm surprised to get more out of that self-destruct. Cuban will actually end up getting demeched there by Africonicus. So this fight's looking pretty even, all things considered now. But Joestar in the mix here. Pop the EMP, secure the kill onto Babs. Coalescence now will force Africonicus back, and that will be a full reset from our defensive squad.
Just basically die on point here, burn as much time off the clock as possible. Maybe get an ult out, but I don't think, especially with Quacker getting hacked and antied.
Man, Mango is hot on this Tracer. He's running circles around these guys. The tracking is good. The target, sick for the 3 seconds he spent shooting the wall there. But the tracking is good. The target priority is good, and he's absolutely a nightmare. It's kind of reminding me a bit of Assassin JDV on that Tracer.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's not only that the PUGs-esque is getting, the amount of pressure that he's putting on has been astronomical this series. I mean, always in and out, in and out, in and out. I mean, here he does get picked off now, but he's got a lot of value.
He's looking for a team. It must be a pretty hot prospect at the moment after seeing him here. Bubbles though does go down. Cuban gets denicked as well. Quacha will now force them into the corner. Wow, that's a lot onto a poor baby diva. You usually want to kill her as late as possible, but Quacha not taking any chances.
Yeah, and I think he's just a little bit scared of that remake. Even though he's a roadhog, he can kind of tank through it. I think he's scared of his team randomly dying to that, because anything can happen.
It's also really hard to see through whole hog, so you might not even have realized that was a baby diva until they showed up in the kill feed.
Yeah, and also like Quacha getting scouted out here, getting hacked, he's gonna get punished for this.
Oh yeah, he's gonna go down. As you said, huge mentality field, gonna keep him alive. He will get out of here, at least for the time being. Deadeye at the ready here for Fury. Should he choose to commit it, gonna drop low in his own right and isolated from his team by the mines. Quacha will go down in the end. Mango with the pass bomb picks up one. Self-destruct, not going to bail the team out here of Babsdyssey as Drostar tries to get out. Eventually Babs will track him down. EMP at the ready at the next time of asking, but it's unlikely to even be needed as the card works its way through. They did not finish on the side of Babsdyssey, so they will have to hold here. No chance for a recontest. If it gets to that blue box, it's game over, and it might just be that, but the spawns will come through quickly. The nano boosted ball might be a problem though. If they can get the kills they need to on side of Babsdyssey, they will be able to hold. EMP now comes through. That might spell the end of this one. Alex gonna pick up a double, and so will Cuban with the self-destruct, and I think that might be that. Echo on the pointer from Babs. He took the form of the ball just for the tank, but he's losing teammates left, right, and center, and at the end of it all, Rainbow Renegades will take another victory on Eichenwald.
Yeah, and it's just at this point, it seems that no matter what they do, like even though it makes no sense, to them it's working. And
yeah.
It's not only, you say, oh, it's lucky that it's working. They understand what they're doing. Yes, yeah. I mean, maybe a few questionable ults from Wallace and Bubbles, but like in general, that flank from Selfless, he knew where the Mercy was. He knew he could punish her as you're coming out of spawn, and then that's just a fire without a Mercy. I can hide quick.
Yeah,
So
just get rid of him.
Bubbles positioning maybe a couple times also questionable, but overall these flanks really getting a lot of value. And as you mentioned, Selfless on this Tracer is putting in so much work.
Yeah, standout for me here. Of course, replacing Neeks, who was in his own right a standout, but in a completely different way. The Pharmacy was oppressive from Rainbow Renegades in their first series, and here instead it's the Tracer hooking up with Cubic and you ripping them apart, and even on the McCree, like you said. So really impressive stuff from Rainbow Renegades. But now we need to turn our attention to Babsdyssey and ask the question: what do they need to do to stem the bleeding here?
I think that they need to play something like they tried the Chaos comp. They tried to kind of match the Chaos. It didn't end up working. So I think now we've got to look at something, maybe play it a bit slower. Look at something, as I mentioned before, like the Torbjorn, like Torb McCree, maybe even get the Rissa Sigma out to make it that it's very difficult for Rainbow Renegades to catch them off guard. Because right now, a lot of these team fights that they're losing is because they're getting caught off guard by someone flanking.
You must wonder though, if you do go for that sort of static composition like the Sigma Rissa, you kind of leave yourself open to being picked apart, right?
Yeah, it's a very difficult situation to be in. I think that there's no one answer for this, and it's something that Babsdyssey themselves are going to have to come up. What can we do? What are our biggest issues, and which players on their team do we need to focus on? Is it Selfless on this Tracer? Is it Cubic on the Wrecking Ball / Roadhog? Is it Wallace getting into the backline? That kind of thing. Is it Dro putting a lot of pressure so that it turns our attention away from the other three, and that's something that it's not going to be easy. It's not an easy decision to make, and Route 66 is not an easy map to really get a hold of that. A ball, a Roadhog, Lucio, or heroes that can be really strong here.
Yeah, no, this map does feel like it plays quite well into Rainbow Renegade's hands, but this is a fair map, so maybe Babs can make something happen on that fair, and that's what he will be starting with. It is Route 66, by the way, for those of you who are, I guess, only listening and not watching. Drostar gonna come in on the EMP lady once again. Interesting choice there.
I think at this point it might be a little bit of a tilt factor for Quagga, because I know him as a player personally isn't that fond of Sombra.
You must be a main tank or a human being with a functioning brain. That hero is a nightmare.
Yeah, no, I like the first time I ever played like main tank against Sombra, I wanted to uninstall. I'll be honest, so I feel his pain.
It's like playing Dota against techies. Just quit the game straight up.
Yeah, pretty much. We are going to see Sombra, coming out of Furious and Drostar on there, Ash.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see her again, not opting for an aggressive defense here on the side of Rainbow Renegades, as they need to open up their defensive hold here. Oh, Drostar needs to be careful there. We'll get forced back. That's Furious, sorry. Now on the Sombra on the other side, Alex gonna ball on in here. Rainbow Renegades looking to take the pressure on, and Mango will get that opening kill onto Babs. Genji, a fascinating pick here, not one we see ever, a bit of a comfort pick, I'd have to imagine. He's going to get on top of Furious here, take him down straight away, and you can see what they're kind of going for here on the side of Babsdyssey, the Sombra to counter out Cubic, and the potential of a Tracer, but fortunately not working out on that attempt.
Yeah, and it just, like, they got very slow up in that fight, and we saw, Mango managing to pick up the kill on the Pharaoh, not something you see very often. From there, you didn't really see like a 6-man team. You kind of saw like 6 players around the map, and with Pretz getting caught out, it might be very dangerous.
Ooh, Furious getting caught out there. Taken down immediately by Alex. He's supposed to be countering Alex, but instead drops to him. Although that's not really how that particular counter works. As Babs looks to get aggressive here onto the Mercy. Mango finds another pick here. Apricornicus now will not contribute anything else to the fight. They get on top of the pharmacy as well, and this is a drumming so far by Rainbow Renegades.
Yeah, and it feels like Babsdyssey are just losing quite a lot of this team fight, the coordination that you expect them to have with the synergy in the team, and they seem to be playing for themselves more than the actual team at this stage.
But that's kind of what happens when you get dominated in the way you were on the first 2 maps. You kind of lose sense of how you win this, and then you start to overplay your hero a little bit and put yourself in awkward spots here. Mango does have the ulti now, will pick up Apricornicus, gonna follow up onto Mercy. Their kill stolen by the orb. What the hell, Wallace? Show some respect here as the D-Mech will come through onto Press, and sorry, okay, fair enough, Wallace. Okay, that's fine.
Not generally the hero you expect Wallace to be on, but it seems like they're going for like this kind of nano call. Not the nano blade, which you're used to seeing, but nano call. But yeah, I think, and it's a really good point like to bring up, is they're kind of trying to play these 1v1s against players that, in general, on these heroes are better. Like you look at Cubic versus Quagga. Quagga, it's nothing against Quagga at all, but Cubic is just insane on that reckon.
Yeah, I know, it's Cubic is GM and Quagga is not, so that's the whole equation right there. Pretz over the top with the self-destruct, finds Drostar randomly, not sure how he managed that trick of the mind, as now they look to push forward. They've lost 1 player each, but yeah, a couple of respawning still from Babsdyssey, so I'd like to see them pull back here and just kind of play a little bit slower while they wait for the respawns to come in. Pretz will take this high ground up, but look at the aggression coming out from the pink team. Mango finds Apricornicus, more kills soon to follow, the hack onto the ball. Quagga has just given up on life. I can't say I blame him, to be honest.
Like after getting solely EMP'd and then into another hack, I don't blame the man at all. Poor AFK.
Oh no.
It just seems to be all falling apart at this stage, and it's rough to see.
It's rough to see. Babs has built an ultimate here now. Will come through with that. Picks off 1. Finally some kills here for our blue squad. They might have managed to actually stop the momentum here of Rainbow Renegades as Furious picks up his 2nd kill of the team fight. So maybe this is the turnaround here. Maybe this is what you need to kind of, throw the water in your face and wake you up and make you realize you can take team fights with this team.
Yeah, and that's something that they just need that belief. They need to make sure that they're focusing on their fundamentals, and this is definitely a game they can win. We've seen fights where they've dominated, so it's very possible.
gets him. Babs, now this is Babs' favorite hero as far as I know, so he'll be more than happy to match Mango on the Genji. Might force him to switch off actually, and kills now though coming the way of Rainbow Renegades. A good start squandered once again here by Babsdyssey. Rainbow Renegades is just too good at this stage.
Yeah.
Oh my.
I think we all feel Quacha's pain right now. He's just not allowed to play the game.
And so you feel like your hands came off the keyboard in that moment when you're hacked mid-pile driver and it just takes the momentum away. You're like, I don't understand. I don't understand what's happening and I hate this stupid game.
Yeah, it's pretty much like literally Joestar at this point is taking Quacha's keyboard away from him.
Exactly, man. Oh no. Mango does have his ultimate at the ready here. Bubble's gonna take the life of Fury. It's gonna go in now. Nanoblade at the ready. The first self-destruct in the other direction, but it's not gonna matter to Mango, who's made his way into the back line. Slice and dice, surgical precision here. Babs on the other side, gonna do some precise surgery of his own though. Gets Bubbles down. EMP comes out though, and that's gonna spot the end of Quacha's life once again. I mean, what do you even do?
Alt F4 if I was quite but like it's just
Alt F4 doesn't even quit Overwatch.
Yeah, it's looking really like difficult this stage. Like they just don't seem to have the answer consistently. Like yes, they get the team fight wins, but it's just not enough.
EMP comes out now, 4 players EMP'd and the kills coming through now for our blue team. Babsdyssey finally getting some position here in this team fight, but Furious will go down. Do they have enough to pick up these kills? This should be a dead monkey. Hello? Yes, gets him eventually with the pile driver. No Sombra to cancel that one out.
Yeah, and this is something that we've been seeing from Babsdyssey is that they get these stabilizing fights, and then the next fight after that, they just aren't able to keep the momentum going. Hopefully now they can get that done.
Back onto Quacha, this time escapes with his life. He's like, please God team, keep me alive here or I will have to purchase a new keyboard. As Phoenix has switched onto the Brigitte. I quite like the switch actually. The Brigitte makes a lot of sense here, but just a little bit too much pressure onto them now is, oh, this is a lot of healing needs to come through. Mango has the, Babs rather, has the ultimate. He picks off 1, picks off 3. Babs putting his namesake team on his back now. Gonna go forward and try to get this kill onto the soldier, but backup has arrived in the form of Alex and will be able to secure that one. But we might be able to hold this third point quite effectively.
Yeah, definitely. I think, and this is now we're starting to get. They've won 2 fights in a row. This is what they wanted, and Babs on this Genji is really putting in a lot of value.
Absolutely, you can see he's comfortable in this hero. If that hero was ever meta again, he might be able to win some games on behalf of his team. But Cuberin with the primal rage, gonna get aggressive. They've lost 2 players already. Self-destruct over the top. Pretz finds a double, gets slapped into shape by Cuberin though before he could remix, so does end up going down. But something to play here for the hack now. The other main tank feeling the pain of the hack, and Apricornus will find Mango. So the soldier not really paying off for Rainbow Renegades, but with the way they've been playing, you rather get the sense they're playing with their food.
Yeah, it doesn't really feel like they're playing to necessarily win the game, but more to try to make the enemy team even madder at this point.
I mean, you don't win unless the enemy team hates themselves afterwards, apparently, is how some people think. Babs has almost another ultimate up. He just needs to not die to this coalescence. Will not die, gets nanoed up, and now can get aggressive with the Dragon Blade, but he's hacked up. He can't pull the sword out. Please, why? My arms and legs don't work anymore, and he gets taken down by the tactical visor. Pretz's mech will drop as well, and the dominant performance continues here for Rainbow Renegades. They had everything they needed to win that team fight on the side of Babsdyssey, and the Renegades just slapped them down like they did Phoenix right there. They'll secure the 3rd point cap in overtime, but they look completely unassailable.
Yeah, no, that EMP from Joestar there was crucial. 6-man EMP, you can't do anything. You have to kind of wait and let the enemy team do something, and then recognizing, okay, that's a nano Genji. Very likely that means a blade's coming up. So let me rehack him. Make sure that nano kind of runs out, and then with attack visor, a Genji blading into that is almost suicide. But I think from Babsdyssey, it was better. This time they didn't end. It's only capped at overtime. So definitely a lot more to work.
The next. Sorry to interrupt you. Quacha has entered the next stage of depression there, which is what do they call it? Bargaining.
Yeah.
No Sombra and no balls.
Yeah, pretty much. And I mean, so far from Majorista, there is that Sombra as well as the Wrecking Ball, Cubic. So it doesn't look like that's gonna be any different. Mango on the Bastion without a shield tank.
Why not, right? Why not? Mango's trying to find some way to make this challenging for him. He locked the legs in the previous one and still cleaned up the team fight with a tactical visor. So now he's going to make it even harder. And what's harder to execute than a naked Bastion?
Definitely. And also, like, just a small update regarding Valkyries did 3-0 Zumacons. So
okay, so that seals their deal then. That's good for us because that means Skarzz can produce tomorrow. I can take a break from casting occasionally because I am in my pee right now. It looks like Mango is going to pump the damage. Furious. Oh, actually no. Looks like they're going to strike back here. The aggressive defense too hot to handle for Rainbow Renegades, at least at the moment.
Yeah.
No, it's the other way around. Sorry, Renegades are now on defense.
Yeah, it just feels like, yeah, as you said, like Renegades kind of playing with their food a little bit, playing these kind of weird comps that you're not really expecting to work, and giving Babsdyssey a bit of life in the series. And while yes, you're winning against something scuffed, it does give you a bit of confidence.
Yeah, absolutely. And Babs, I think I like that he's getting to play the Genji and really show his strength on this hero. And playing a bit of Genji than Mango, it has to be said, but unfortunately the team are able to back him up on this hero, and it's not actually a good hero here, to be honest. Joestar does find the opening pick onto Prix, the second one follows up onto Apicornicus, and now they're dropping like fives. Fierce does get the kill onto Alex, so that's good for them, and that might help them get the push out early, but not if Furious drops late here. The Bunny Blaster doing the work there, and that's going to spell the end of that team fight for Babsdyssey.
Yeah, and we just see, like, again, this chaos is just making it so difficult. You're going to expect a naked Bastion like this. Like, that should never happen, but Cubic on this Wrecking Ball really distracting them a lot. Bubbles does go down in the spawn once again. Bit of a interesting choice, to say the least.
Quagga has entered the next stage of depression, which is begging desperately for them to stop playing the Sombra so he can play the game, but unfortunately they are not obliged. He's having to go into the Sigma here because all tanks suck ass against Sombra. I'll be frank with you guys, it's not fun and you don't want to do it, but they need a shield, I think, is the thing they've identified here, or something that can get aggressive. They are getting dominated here again in this team fight. There's Bubbles looks to get aggressive. Furious does find the counter picks, and he has been doing so consistently. You have to point out the positives here, and that's that Furious has stood out once again on this team.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think Furious and Babs really putting a lot of effort to try and help Babsdyssey win. And with the 2 picks on Cubic and Bubbles, this should be a nice entrance to the team.
Yeah, hopefully they can clean up the kills before those respawns come back and get that card all the way to the end of first point. They will get aggressive now, coming in here. That's an awkwardly timed anti-heal, and the EMP comes out. Tank configuration mode, or whatever it's called, comes out as well. But Furious, he's there to bail them out. He gets 1 kill onto Wallace, he gets Mango as well, gets the pick onto the Diva mech, and he's free reign here to put the pressure down. All he needs is a bit of healing, so he can get aggressive onto Cubic now. Almost gets that pick as well. Quagga gets a double in the back. Finally, he says, I can do stuff with my goddamn hero.
Yeah, and I think that it's a bit of a sort of ult onto the baby Diva once again, so maybe a bit of frustration coming out.
Oh my god, that was violent. Oh, Alex is back in the mix here. Self-destruct just to secure the point, I think. Mango's back in on the Tracer, so it's not over just yet. Ball and Tracer, anytime those 2 heroes are still alive, they can do this. Nano comes on to Babs, but he doesn't want to do it. He wants to save it for the next team fight. Oh god, that was terrible. Pop out of the mix, straight into the sharp edge of Babs's nano-boosted blade, and let's get taken down. And finally, Babsdyssey can say they did something.
Yeah, and again, just building off the consistent fights that you win. You keep it going, keep putting pressure on them, and now we're starting to see a bit more of the normal comps coming out of Rainbow Renegades. Let's see, Bubble still on the Zenyatta, going for these weird flanks, getting punished a few times, and Pretz out of position here.
Only a little bit. He will end up dying very quickly though as the hack comes through. Pretz this time will feel the pain of playing against the Sombra. Oh no, sorry, Babs will feel the pain of playing. None of his limbs work when he gets hacked. He should just stop moving completely. Just to add insult to injury, Mango is a nightmare in his backline though on this Tracer. It's so hard to play against. With Cubic and the Tracer of Mango, I mean, what can you even do here?
It's just not much at this point. I think, as much as we've been saying these things is that they can try to do, it just feels like, in these heroes, Rainbow Renegades just are better. And it's a difficult thing to admit, and it's not only just, like, yes, they're playing the chaos, but they're playing the chaos together, and that's what's so important.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny, this is the kind of domination you'd expect to see from, a random fire department against some mid-table team full of relative nobodies. But this is the Pride Cup. These things are balanced SR-wise and tells you everything you need to know about how good of a balance SR is, but we don't have a better metric, unfortunately. Furious gets that pick onto Alex just before he gets onto the Mega, so nice work from him. Might be enough to push them forward now. No EMP available here, but I mean, even beyond the grave, Cubic is going to contribute to the team fight. Mango gets 2 kills. Oh no! Even more to follow here. Somebody sign this guy and actually pay money to play Overwatch because he's dominating these poor boys.
He's put in so much work, and I mean, I know it's a bit early to say, but very much the player of the match candidate.
Well, when the guy who decides says that in probably the last map, there's a pretty good chance that it is going to go that way. Babsdyssey gonna now look for an avenue through. They get Cuber in, but there's a Cubic in the backline. No! There's so much easy in this goddamn game. Somebody give this guy a BKB so he can stay through the crowd control. But no, he will get slept in the midst of his Nano Blade. But his team is still performing admirably here. They now should be able to clean up these last 2 kills and keep the momentum moving forward. Bubbles taken down here by Pretz. Who's next? The Diva on the high ground. So is the Ball. And they clean it up. I think that'll be the key kill. Mango's back though. I'll just throw the keyboard out the window. There's nothing you can do against this guy in the current state. Self-destruct goes up, doesn't find anything here. The cleanup is lacking a little bit here from Rainbow Renegades at the moment, but a nano boosted Tracer going to be very, very tough to deal with. Mango picking up a couple here, trying to track down the Lucio, getting put under pressure now. Stand up, not taken down. Not even the crowd control gonna keep him under control. Joestar dropping low, 4 HP, 0 HP. That's a good pick. They get Cuber in as well, but can they kill this man right here? And can they kill Mango? The 2 players they've been struggling to kill the whole series so far. Bubbles in the backline, pops a transfer just to keep himself alive against the Brigitte, but he's isolated now all by himself. Mango has finally dropped. He will kill Pretz at the very least, but will go down in the end, and they'll get through to that second point.
Yeah, and eventually, as you highlighted, getting those picks onto Cubic and Mango just meant that they could ensure it. Once those 2 go down, Wallace, especially also not in that Lucio, means that there is that less focus on, okay, well, we just need to make sure that we get rid of these 2, but Wallace killing Babs, so it doesn't really matter, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, there's carries everywhere on this team. Obviously we focus on the top 2, but Wallace can contribute from that support position very effectively. Mango, as we see, does open up the kill, gets another kill here onto Pretz. Just unrelenting force coming out of this player, and I think the side, okay, they actually got a few kills back here. They can keep the momentum going. Just any relate picks they can get. Nice work from Babs. He gets Wallace back for that kill earlier. So now they can start to push forward, and I really, really like the Hanzo on this 3rd point.
Yeah, Hanzo, such a good hero here, and Dragon's always guaranteed to get value. You've got a lot of spam angles. Joestar going down early is a good start to this fight. Yeah,
extremely good for them. Cuban likely to get DMX here as well. Quacha gonna throw them up into the air and bring them down to break some ankles. They do get the DMX done, but is that enough? They still haven't dealt with the 2 players they need to. Bubbles has been contributing very effectively in his team fights as well, and with Wallace at his back, it's gonna be tough for him to push through. Magus gets the kill with the pulse bomb. A pulse bomb every team fight, it seems seems like, as now puts the pressure on. Self-destruct goes forward, but that leaves Pretz exposed. Needs to be careful not to get taken down, and doesn't. Bubbles finally has dropped the Drostar onto the Torbjorn, tries to put the damage in from long range. That's a low signal. High move from the background here from Furious, not able to find anything, but does put the damage in. This Alex does go down, so this is looking pretty good. If they can force their way through here, even if, you know, they weren't playing as hard as they could have on the side of Rainbow Renegades, it kind of puts them under the knife a little bit. On the pink team, Self-destruct goes in, but it's a double kill. Babs fires back with one, but the spawn advantage is so strong. Overtime just barely kept in check there, but Mango's back. Huberin picks up another kill with his remake there. Pile driver to pop the Diva up in the air, and that will be the overtime ticking away. A dominant performance from Rainbow Renegades will secure them the top spot in Group A.
Dominant is probably the best way to describe this, and we've been speaking about almost playing with their food. You know, this was not a series where we saw them, especially as it went on, where they were playing the most super serious of comps. I mean, there it is, the Bastion. It's not.
Yeah.
But,
Nano boosted tank Bastion. You don't see that every day in a competitive match.
Credit has got to go to Rainbow Renegades. I think just these wacky picks that they're able to really bring it out, and you know, then on top of that, Babsdyssey, they gave her the big go. This is potentially the team that you're looking at. They are going to win it all. I mean, maybe, you know, H have a say in that matter, and same with the 4Es, but we'll have to wait and see for tomorrow.
Yeah, they might rematch later, but both of these teams are the pick of the litter here for Group A. Obviously, first place will be Rainbow Renegades. Second place will be Babsdyssey. Do we have any results from Group B of this last round? So no Group B results yet, so we won't be able to tell you what that is, but I believe Group A is now complete. We'll wait for that to get updated, and then we'll have a look at the groups, which I think are ready to go. They are ready to go. Excellent news. I just need to open the sheet that actually has the freaking information on it. Right, so Group A, first place Rainbow Renegades, second place Babsdyssey, Valkyries in third place, OneTrix in fourth place, and Zwoomicorns unfortunately drop out without winning a series to take a couple of maps off. So that's Zwoom on Skarzz and the rest of the crew there. Unfortunately, we'll be saying goodbye to them, but you'll see more Skarzz tomorrow. If not see, then at least experience some of his influence as part of the production team. Yeah, so that means Rainbow Renegades and Babsdyssey will go through to the upper bracket. Rainbow Renegades will face the winner of the second place in Group B, and Babsdyssey will face the first place team of Group B. So it was an important result for both teams, but a reminder that Mango is not part of the starting roster of Rainbow Renegades. So come tomorrow, Neeks will have to show if he can put out the same kind of punching power that Mango was able to do, and I think that's a tough task for anybody. I think you'll have to agree, Terran.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, as I highlighted going into towards the end of that last map, 100% player of the match for me. I mean, obviously Cubic putting a lot of effort, but it's just so many different fights. That's, you know, he came in either with the first pick or that important pick that got them into that fight and made it practically impossible for Babsdyssey to get any kind of.
Yeah, absolutely. Valkyries and OneTrix then will go through to the lower bracket and have to fight their way through there. Valkyries will face fourth place in Group B, and OneTrix will place third place. And so looking here there we go. That's the bracket. It will only be updated once all teams have played all their matches. Although maybe I messed up my functions. Oh, it's Peach. Thank God. I thought I messed something up. No, mine is working a-okay. So waiting for the results to Group B, but you guys will have to check in on that a bit later. We're not going to sit here, keep you company while we wait for that. We've had a long day, in case you haven't noticed. So guys, that will be the end of the group stage here for Pride Cup. Join us again tomorrow at 9 a.m, where hopefully you'll get to see some new faces on the broadcast. Not that there's anything wrong with our faces, TerranLord, but I will be taking a break at least once tomorrow, and I'm excited to experience that and watch from the outside. But ton of fun games today, a lot of close games, a couple of one-sided romps, but for the most part sets us up for an exciting playoff bracket tomorrow. So like I said, 9 a.m. we'll start with an upper bracket match, but we'll keep you guys posted on exactly what's going on. Follow us on Twitter at ZA Overwatch to keep up with everything that's happening and get a sense of who's going through to tomorrow's matches. You can follow myself at SunPheonyx on Twitter. Where can we find you, Terran? Just remind us.
You can find me on Twitter at TerranLord and on Twitch at twitch.tv/Lord of Terrans.
And Peach, of course, our lovely producer, progenitor of this lovely production pack you see before you, as well as a bunch of back-end stuff. He is at ThePeachZA on Twitter and also on Twitch, I believe. So please go and give him a follow there. And I believe JellyDoodle is responsible for the lovely little man you see at the top center of your screen there as well. So at JellyDoodle on Twitter, I don't know, you can figure it out, you can find him somehow. He's been doing a lot of these sort of logos things for a lot of different teams. So hopefully you guys will get to see that at some point. But that's going to be that, guys. We'll see you guys bright and early tomorrow at 9 a.m. for the second day and final day of the Pride Cup.